Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Rangers boss Mark Warburton reveals his striker Martin Waghorn will have a scan on a hamstring injury tomorrow. Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers is keen to get James Forrest signed up to a new deal. And as ever on a Monday programme, we'll look back over the weekend's football across all four divisions in Scotland. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin. Our Bootroom guest on a Monday night is Mark Guidi. Delighted to have Mark with us. It was a problem when we spotted it on Saturday, Ruffy. It looks as if Martin Waghorn will have a scan on that hamstring problem. Maybe not as bad as first feared, but it might be a couple of weeks, if not more, on the sidelines, depending on the results.
Yeah, depending on what the medical side say about it, it could be, depends how bad the tear is, sometimes it can be longer than that, but it's a horrible experience for the boy after him having that injury there and been out for so long last year and coming back with the amount of goals that he had scored and everything. It's just a minor setback, so I think everybody will be hoping it's not as bad as it looked at the day.
Yep, it was a 1-1 draw for Rangers against Hamilton the weekend. Dave King, interestingly enough, interviewed and suggested that it's got to be second for Rangers in European football next season. A little bit of pressure on the manager then.
Yeah, but I think that's realistic. I don't think that's an outrageous target set by Dave King. I think second is where Rangers should expect to be at the end of the season. I don't expect them to finish first, Peter. I think there's too big a gap. It's too far to go considering it's their first season back. But certainly with the quality of the players that they brought in, the size of the manager's budget, then I don't have a problem with what Dave King said.
As far as the shirts are concerned, that seems to be a legal minefield, Mark. I don't know where Rangers go with this one, even if they were prepared to try and make their own kit by some form or fashion with another sports company.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, Peter. I think the bigger picture, they've been trying to shake off Mike Ashley for 18 months now, and they just can't do it. They can't fully, because of the legalities and it all, get rid of them, but they're working hard to try and do it, and they want to try and go and sell their own kit to generate revenue, to allow the Rangers supporters to go and wear the kit, but there's still that association with Mike Ashley, which for the club at this stage and for the supporters is unfortunate.
What did you make of them against Hamilton, Ruffy?
I think they got a wee bit of a reality check because we all know what Hamilton's like. Hamilton fight for their lives in every game they play at, particularly in midfield, they scrap, they bite, they're in there, they're shutting you down. And I think Rangers midfield got a wee bit of a shock when they saw the way that Hamilton set about their game. I think Hamilton had chances as Rangers did, but I think all credit goes to Hamilton for going there on the first day of the season. I think everybody to a man expected maybe a 2 or 3-0 win for Rangers, but all credit to Hamilton, and again they've set out very early to prove everybody wrong.
Yep, 2 great goals in that game, and the game at Tynecastle yesterday was an absolute cracker. It only had about 42 different headlines that you could have used, Mark, from it. In the end, Celtic nicked it with a goal from the debutant.
Yeah, it was a great goal. Brilliant play from Lee Griffiths down the left-hand side. A lovely cross and a 60-70 yard run from the substitute, Scott Sinclair. On his debut, doesn't get any better than that. £4 million. A lot of money. It's been a while since Celtic have spent in that region, but he looks a quality player. The manager believes in him, and he's certainly going to help lighten up Scottish football. Yeah,
a couple of points that maybe the referee. I thought Celtic's first goal, Stuart Armstrong, certainly it looked as if he was impeding the goalkeeper from where I was watching it, Ruffy, and also the penalty, which caused a fair bit of consternation for Scott Brown and a few thousand Celtic fans.
Yeah, I think in the penalty instance, there is a small bit of contact, but not enough contact to make the player act the way he acted, So then the referee's got to make a decision when he sees the player going down. He's honest enough to say he got it wrong, which is good. Came out very, very early. The goalkeeping one, obviously, I'm going to stick up for the goalkeeper. I thought his vision was blocked because you can see him actually pulling himself in. So his view is blocked, and the new rules that are out there say it's not a goal. Yeah. It's offside.
Scott Brown accusing Jamie Walker of cheating on this one. Generally, and I used to be resolute in the earlier years of my reporting, Mark, on, this is an outrage, it's cheating. But many a professional player I have spoken to will tell me, no, if someone's daft enough to put their foot in, then I'll go down. Whether it's a big challenge, a little touch, a heavy touch, whatever, off balance, I'll go down. It's up to the referee to make the decision. He'll decide whether I'm a cheat or whether it's a penalty.
Yeah, I agree. If there's contact, then I think you've got a right to go down, and then it's up to the referee. You're giving him a decision to make. You run the risk of losing possession if he doesn't give you a penalty kick or a free kick at the edge of the box. The wider issue for me, Peter, in the terms of Jamie Walker, Kieran Tierney challenge, I didn't see any contact at all, to be honest. Watched the replays a few times. A wider issue for me is, and I think this is where I would put the onus on PFA Scotland, is have a campaign with all your members to cut cheating out of the game, cut diving out of the game, because these guys, they'll cheat each other, look each other in the eye, but they want to be pals as well. So I think there's a campaign from a neutral body that all the boys are members of. Drive on, be a great initiative for Scottish football to go and set a benchmark with that. Get all the players involved, stamp it out the game, and not only that, Peter, make the lives of referees easier as well. To save John Beaton and his colleagues having to go and apologise to managers at half-time or full-time for being conned by players.
With all due respect, Ruffy, and I take your point, and I would embrace it wholeheartedly, but that's a form of utopia, Ruffy. That's a situation where you're asking, first of all, an individual country to accept the Marquess of Queensberry rules, whereas everybody else across the world just think, no chance. People will cheat. We've already got a situation where the Olympics has been tarnished by that stench of cheating from one particular nation, and I'm sure there are others who are all partaking in this sort of thing. Yeah,
but it's the same thing, Peter, when people are cheating, no matter what it is, you have to be seen to be doing something about it. If you continue to have a mindset of, well, it's okay, then it'll be right across the board. You'll just see it right across the board. And the good thing about it is now the television has been able to find people out. So the actual individual himself, if he was to do it like once last week and then do it again, his name is going to be tarnished, so that's something they have to deal with.
If we have the chance to put a bit of doubt in a footballer's mind before he takes a dive, then I'm all for it. If we have a chance to put something in place, it may help clean up our game just a little bit.
Yeah.
Then why not try it?
I saw the clip just to move quickly on. Watch that Charity Shield there. The boy Vardy had a chance to go down, but he didn't. He had enough confidence in his ability to get around the goalkeeper and go for the goal. That's what we want to see.
Yep, absolutely. From the game on the field, I'm sure you want to interact with us and give us your thoughts on it. Still raging in social media from a Hearts or a Celtic perspective, or indeed a neutral. Is there such a thing? At Peter and Ruffy on Twitter and Facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy. Give us your thoughts on the points that Mark and Ruffy have raised there. Just one quick thing on the Celtic issue. Apart from unveiling Scott Sinclair earlier today, James Forrest, is he worthy of a new deal? I mean, he's in the final 6 months of his contract.
I like him, Peter. I think the past 18 months to 2 years, he seems to become a whipping boy for a certain section of Celtic supporters. I don't understand why. He's got terrific pace, he's got skill, he'll take a man on. He's an asset to that Celtic team, to that Celtic squad. So if Celtic will get an opportunity to go and tie him down in a new 2-3-4 contract, then absolutely go and do it.
And just before we get to the break, guys, if we're talking about what we consider will be the top four, the other team that I haven't mentioned then is Aberdeen. St Johnstone Aberdeen was one of those games where I think the ball should have had a flight path because there was a heck of a lot of long balls and not a great bit of entertainment. 0-0, Aberdeen slipping up.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty on the eye, the 90 minutes. I think that kind of game had a draw written all over it before it. Peter, like St Johnstone are, it made them a tough team to beat. Good solid professionals in Tommy Wright's team, but I think Derek McInnes will be disappointed in some respect that he's not won the game, but a point away from home at a difficult venue such as Perth on the opening day of the season, considering it's only 3 days after you've played Maribor, not a bad result.
Strangely enough, with Rangers in there and Hearts in the mix now, I think it almost increases the pressure on Aberdeen, and I'm looking, and Hayes could be out for a month as well.
Yeah, that's a blow, and it was a bit of a gamble for Derek as well to leave out Rooney and Niall McGinn at the weekend. You know, two massive players, but he felt he obviously could get something out of the game of the weekend. I know it's only one game away. I was impressed with Hearts. I thought Hearts, the way they moved the ball about, still are very, very physical, as the yellow cards proved. But I think they're going to be extremely hard to beat again, particularly at Tynecastle.
Okay, in the next part of the programme we are going to be talking about the Betfred Cup. There are matches tomorrow night and on Wednesday as well. We'll also look at the other teams involved in the Premiership, Championship, League One and League Two as well. The domestic season is up and running, and as ever on a Monday we'll look back and discuss some of the hot topics that anger the fans out there. Join us after the break on Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff and Mark Guidi are here with me in the studio to look back over the weekend's football and of course ahead to the Betfred Cup matches taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Over the weekend, apart from the talk of Dundee possibly leaving Dens Park, Ruffy, on the field of play, they did the business up at Dingwall. That was a good win for them. Rory Loy taking away the pain of the Dundee fans losing Kane Hemmings.
Yeah, and Rory Loy unfortunately was signed to be the main man a couple of years ago, and these two have taken over for him, so it's given him a chance to show the manager that he can still score goals, and he's going to get, by all accounts, an extended run. But again, I think we're looking at Ross County, and I think everybody's just shaking their head. Now, where has it all gone wrong? You know, particularly in the League Cup after the fantastic the season they had. But sometimes that happens to a particular club. You just don't get a good start. But I'm sure Jim McIntyre and wee Billy will get that sorted out.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they're panicking just yet after a game, but I think I still fancy Dundee for top six, Mark.
I think Dundee will be in the mix, yep. I fancy Partick Thistle to be top six this season, Peter. I think they've got a bit about their squad. Dundee, I think they'll lose Greg Stewart in the next week or two. I think he will go down south for about 450 grand, which is good money for Dundee considering they bought him for nothing. But on the park, he'll be a big loss to Paul Hartley. Yeah,
but he's got an eye for a player. Back two, he came on as a substitute at the weekend as well, and again, he seems to be getting the best out of Paul McGowan. He took his goal well.
He does. You're right. I think he's possibly, in terms of all the managers and coaches, maybe the best eye in the lower leagues for a player. I thought the third goal on Saturday was brilliant. The counter-attack from their own box, and Michael Duffy played it in. And I think when we're on referees as well, I thought Bobby Madden's decision to award the penalty kick for jersey pulling was the right one, and I think we've got to applaud our referees for trying to stamp out the holding of jerseys in the box.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, because week in, week out on any sports programme in Scotland, you know, more often than not the referees are getting filleted, Ruffy.
Yeah, again, I mean, I certainly, with the first time, it just shows you how, as Mark said there, it just shows you how hard it is to referee a game. I never saw it first time, I never saw it second time. You know, but I did see it the third time, you know, and the referees aren't getting that chance. They've got to make the decision, and as Mark said, he was absolutely spot on. And pulling of the jersey, particularly at corners, is another one. We're talking about diving earlier. If we can try and curb that out, and what we need is referees to actually be strong enough, if they see it, to give it, and then we won't see it for the rest of the season.
So, see the penalty kicks, the Hearts Celtic penalty yesterday and the Ross County Dundee penalty the weekend. So if you watch the footage now, they're actually tackling each other outside the box as the guys want to take the kick. It's like rugby tackle to stop the in case there's a rebound. I mean, it's some of the stuff that's going on now.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll tell you, if many referees are going to start giving penalties because they spot the shirt pulling, we're going to have a lot of them this season. It will be fairly contentious. Although I have to say, if we're complimenting Bobby Madden, do we compliment John Beaton in the fact that he said, I got it wrong? Yeah.
You've got, he's big enough to do it, absolutely.
What about Kilmarnock? Where's it going? It was a good win for Motherwell. I don't want to detract anything away from it, but all the focus on that win, I think many people expected Motherwell to do the business at Rugby Park.
Well, if you're looking at Kilmarnock, again, the pre-season, the way you're looking at Ross County, it just doesn't seem to have ticked. You know, so many players coming in, we've seen it before. Sometimes it takes them a wee while to gel. He'll be hoping that they gel very, very quickly, because the supporters there are just on tender hooks every game they go into now. They just need a couple of wins just so that they can relax a wee bit, and maybe the fans will get off the players back as well.
I think it's got, actually, certainly for the media, Peter, as we know, it's a kind of Lee Clark doom's watch now, you know, and you think, you know, he's kind of reached that stage. Is he just one away from losing his job? So they've got a big game at the weekend, and you know, he's got to start getting results.
Well, can I ask you on this one? Are we being unfair on Lee Clark? There seems to be a tremendous amount of pressure on him early on here. You know, from out of nowhere, he saved them from the drop last season.
Yeah, I think probably it is unfair. You know, after 1, 2, 3 games to say that, absolutely. And certainly, if it was a young Scottish manager, you wouldn't want to see him in that predicament. However, what he did do in terms of bringing the spotlight on himself was making so many changes. And you look at 2 or 3 of the guys that let go, particularly say, let's take somebody like Mark O'Hara, who signed for Dundee. Well, Mark O'Hara's been terrific for Dundee, played a big part in their win on Saturday. So I think, you know, in 1 or 2 he might have rushed in. On the other hand, when you bring in 10, 11, 12 new players, you have got to give them time to gel. But time isn't something that you get, particularly when fans are on your back.
Yeah, and just on the point that Mark made in the first part of the programme, Ruffy, Partick Thistle, that was a good win at the weekend over Inverness.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, the confidence of before at the end of the season there were players talking about leaving, Bannigan leaving, Lawless leaving, which would have been a massive blow, but they've got themselves sorted out, they've got the players on contracts, and I believe that they've got contracts on players on 4 and 5 year contracts. So that again is something that you can sit back and just enjoy them. They're all young enough, and to get a win like that, as I say, we've been to games, you know, 2-0 is never ever a given at Partick Thistle. So I'm sure Alan Archibald would be happy that they were solid at the back, particularly young boy Lindsay in there. And it's something to build on.
Yep, here's a look at all the results from the weekend then in the Premiership. Of course, the 2 matches taking place on Sunday. Celtic with the win against Hearts at Tynecastle. No goals between St Johnstone and Aberdeen. And then you see the Saturday results with Rangers back in the Premiership for the first time. A 1-1 draw with Hamilton. Just quickly into the Championship, guys. Jason Cummings caught the eye. You know, the general feeling is, Ruffy, that Hibs can hold on to him. Yeah,
if we're to believe everything that's coming out, you know, there is no way he's going anywhere. The board have decided that the main aim this year is to get back into the big time. And if you start selling players like that so early on, not only do you hinder yourself, but you put the fans against the board as well. And for too long now, the fans have not all been pulling in the right direction. But I think now with Neil Lennon in there and the way the players are playing, I think the fans are all pushing in the right direction. So I just think selling him just sets it back a bit. I always treat it with a pinch of salt though, Mark, when someone suggests, oh, he's definitely staying, you know. By the time we get to Wednesday, would you believe it? 3 million they accepted for him, he's off.
Well, first of all, if they're not back in excess of £1 million, I think you've got to applaud Hibs, Leanne Dempsey and the club, because that's a brave move to not back guaranteed money. But interesting enough, the boy also came out after the game on Saturday when he helped Hibs beat Falkirk and said, I'm not going anywhere, I'm too young, I've got a lot to achieve at Hibs, I want to help them in promotion, and I don't fancy staying myself. All I can do is make beans and toast. So there you go. So he's away, he's definitely going.
And this is what Neil told me to say.
And also, you know, I'm not interested in 10 times my wages. I'm quite happy staying with that.
Absolutely. To be fair, you live on your own in a flat and a new deal with more money. What's not to like? Anyway, here's the results from the Championship as well, because it was an interesting weekend of scorelines. Hibs, of course, favourites to win that division. Great game, Dunfermline edging it against Dumbarton in a 7-goal thriller. And of course, Mark, you were at St Mirren Morton. It ended all square. Yeah,
it was a really good 90 minutes. Credit to Alec Ray and Jim Duffy's team. Jim Duffy felt aggrieved that he didn't get the 3 points. Totally agree with him. They should have been 3 or 4 up. At half time, they outplayed St Mirren, a stronger physical presence than the Morton team as well. But gradually, St Mirren get back into it. Alec changed it to a back 3. And John Sutton, back at St Mirren after being away for 10 years, got the vital equaliser.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at the results from League One as well, just to round things up. I tipped Peterhead to win that division, so a good start for them. Cuffed 4-0 by Alloa, and also a good win there for Livingston, and Airdrie getting a 3-1 win at Queen's Park. So that was League One for you. Who did you tip to win that division, Mark?
Alloa.
Alloa as well, yeah, I thought you might have. Here's League Two for you. Believe that, you believe anything. Here's League Two's scorelines for you. Annan Athletic defeating Stirling Albion. But Edinburgh City, Craig Beattie will be on the programme tomorrow, scored the first goal. Bit of history for Edinburgh City, scored their first goal, didn't in the end win it for them. They lost by 3-2. Let's have a look at the Betfred Cup for tomorrow night. Some really tasty games, looking forward to them. And the one that's screaming out there, of course, is Dundee United against Partick Thistle, Ruffy.
Yep, I think that'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good crowd as well. I think Dundee United obviously try to get back on the rails. But Partick Thistle got there with confidence, and I'm sure the boy Erskine will love to go back there and get a goal.
Yep, and Rangers will take on Peterhead. Maybe Matt Gilks and a few other of the fringe players will get a run out for Rangers in that match.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers are carrying a big squad now, Peter, and Matt Warburton will want to try 2 or 3 different positions, after the result and the performance of some of the players on Saturday. He might look to make 1 or 2 changes ahead of the big league game against Dundee at Dens Park, which will be a real tough one for them.
Yeah, and just briefly, Ruffy, Alloa against Inverness Cally Thistle could be an interesting one because of the start for Alloa and Richie Foran.
Yeah, and again, I think as we're speaking, the Alloa pitch has been brought into just 25 yards, and so there's not much room for them playing. But no, I think, I think they'll do well.
Yeah, okay then. Thanks, Ruffy. We'll leave you with that point. It's not the best one, but we'll leave you with it anyway. Thanks for watching. Good night.